Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class. And we are on to chapter 3 of the Nectar of Devotion, where we'll be seeing that eligibility for accepting and advancing in Bhakti. So let's dive in. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we'll just be seeing that what is the eligibility for taking up to Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. We saw the definition of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti last time. We also saw Vedi Sadhana Bhakti from the Bhagavatam point of view. We saw from the Padma Puran point of view also. And we saw also what are the results of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. And what does Narad Pancharatra say about Vedi Sadhana Bhakti? Because in Narad Pancharatra, all the activities that are prescribed in the Shastras, they are aiming only to please the Supreme Lord. And that is actually called Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. So when we are performing such bhakti under the guidance of the spiritual master, then slowly one will attain Krishna Prema. So let's see what is the eligibility. Attraction to Krishna's service. Even if one is deficient in knowledge or in renunciation, but if he has any attraction to serving Krishna, he is qualified to begin. Now, the service of Krishna can begin with any menial service also, like washing pots, cleaning the temple, sweeping and swabbing the temple hall, or just accumulating tulsi, or just offering a flower, offering a fruit to the Lord. So any service to the Lord in the mood that, he is my master and I am the servant, that is the qualification, attraction to Krishna's service. Then how can one obtain the great fortune of attraction to Krishna's service? By association with Krishna's devotees only. And in the Bhagavatam, if you see, 11th canto, 20th chapter, 8th shloka, where it says that Yad Richaya Mat Kathadu Jata Shraddhostu Yaha Puman Na Nirvinno Nashtiko Bhakti Yogo Asya Siddha. So over there, it said that when your good fortune arises, that is, the association of devotees, and with that association, you develop faith in hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. Because see, Krishna is telling Uddhava this, okay, in the 11th canto. So he's saying that somebody who's by good fortune, when you say good fortune means association of devotees. And in that association, if somebody is developing faith in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and he's neither to nirvinno means he's neither too disgusted with or nor too nastiko means he's not too attached also to material life. When he says nasti shakto means what? Asakto means not to even attached also to material life. Then Krishna is saying that bhakti yogo asya siddha. Then that particular person, he will attain perfection in bhakti to Krishna. So this is the great fortune of attraction to Krishna's service. So that attraction is gained only by the association of devotees, or that faith is developed only in the association of devotees when we are hearing and when we are chanting. So the more you associate with the devotees, the more your faith develops. The more your faith develops, the more you will keep on doing Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing the glories and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So now there are some gradations of the eligibility also to advance in Krishna consciousness. And over here, Srila Prabhupada says that the stronger one's attraction to Krishna consciousness, the more one is qualified to begin and advance in sadhana bhakti. Strong attraction to Krishna service, strong attraction to serve. This is the eligibility to advance. So, when you say strong attraction to Krishna consciousness means only strong attraction to following the principles of Vedic sadhana bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, that is the qualification. And in Vedic sadhana bhakti, how does one's attraction to Krishna service arise? It arises from the inspiration of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay. So that's how this particular inspiration or attraction it arises for Krishna's service. The stronger one's faith in and knowledge of Shastras, the stronger is one's attraction, and thus the more eligible he is advancing. See, when you have faith in the service of Krishna, this is what actually the last slide is talking about. Okay. So now when you have attraction, then you will have faith. And or when you are associating with the devotees, you will have faith. And then with that faith, what are we doing? We are chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. And over here, he's saying that when you are in the association of the devotees, then only you will develop faith. And whether, see, previous slide में कहा था कि knowledge है या नहीं है, सिर्फ attraction है. If you're just attraction, then you're eligible. But for advancing a little more, right? You know, that was a preliminary thing. But for advancing, then how does that faith develop? That faith develops only in the association of devotees and when he takes the shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Now, Shastra means what? Gaining knowledge. Knowledge of the Shastras. The stronger one's faith in knowledge of Shastras, the stronger is one's attraction. So see, why did Prabhupada tell us to read, 1 hour a day? Is just this because of this reason only. Ki jitna we will take the knowledge from the Bhagavatam, from the Bhagavad Gita, then that much strong will be the attraction. And jitna strong attraction hoga, utna hi then you become eligible to advance, because knowledge is the pathway to cut ignorance. We are stuck in this material world only because of we don't have that 100% knowledge. And that is why the living entities are stuck in this material because of ignorance. Now, that is why you see in the Back to Godhead magazine, what is that thing? Krishna Surya Saman Maya Nahi Adhikar. Jaha Krishna Surya, then wherever the son of Krishna is there, then Maya, no, there is no place for Maya, right? So Krishna's knowledge is like that torch light, which is actually giving us the direction to move out from that ignorance and come into light. See, if you have a tunnel, right? The huge tunnel is there, and there are no lights, and there is no even sunlight also. It becomes so difficult to cross, right? But if you have a torch, then you can actually, use the torch, and from one end of the tunnel, which is the darker side, then you can move towards uh, the the side of the lights, right? And that's how you have clarity to cross. Similarly, this vast material world is compared to that tunnel, which is completely full of ignorance. But when Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras, when the more we get knowledge, the more we serve the spiritual master, the more we obey the orders of the spiritual master, then actually it's just like that torch light, which is giving us the direction to move from one end to the other end, from the ignorance to knowledge. And when you're in knowledge, then there is a lot of attraction and then becomes more eligible to advance. Okay. So what is the eligibility of a candidate for advancing in devotional service? So Srila Rupa Goswami has categorized devotees in three categories. One is the Uttam Adhikari. This Uttam Adhikari person is a person who is very strong and he's convinced in his faith with Krishna, right? So even actually before that, there is one more thing actually I just forgot about the three stages of the qualities of Vedi sadhana bhakti. So somebody who has some attraction, right, for hearing the pastimes of the Lord and chanting the glories of the Lord. So these people know that whatever sense gratification is there, it is going to lead to misery only. And they're not able to renounce all sense enjoyment, right? And still, Krishna says that his devotee remains happy and he worships me. So he's actually talking about people who are karmis, people who are jnanis, and people who are the bhaktas. So he's saying that somebody who's very attached to sense objects or sense gratification, then he can actually take the karma path. He can actually go towards the karma kand part, because the cause of too much attachment to sense objects is actually ignorance only. So they take the karma path. And uh, karma means, sense enjoyment. And then when somebody is very disgusted with sense objects, okay, he's saying, "Arey, bahut enjoy kar liya," then he's qualified for a jnana path. When he becomes too disgusted with too much of sense enjoyment, he goes to the Himalayas. He says, nothing doing with sense objects. But such disgust, it arises only by, purification of the heart when you do Nishkam Karma Yoga. So, for example, I'm doing some karma, but I don't expect the results. I'm sorry, what happened? Results of that particular karma. Okay, I'm just going to do my karma or my work, and I'm not going to expect any result. Result comes or does not come, I'm going to just keep on doing my work. So then actually this is the jnani path. But in the bhakti path, the qualification for bhakti is that even if a person is devoid of extreme attachment due to some bad association or Or if somebody is, in very extreme corner, he's having very bad association and everything. But when he comes to the path and he has some faith, right? And when that faith he has, then there is, he has attachment for Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and the deities also, of course. And he has association also of exalted devotees. Then that particular person, because see, the first slide was attraction for Krishna's service. Now it starts only with that. If he has some attraction, then he has faith, and then he associates, his good fortune arises, and then he chants, hears the glories of the Lord. Now, such a person is a very qualified person for bhakti. So, even one who is attached to sense enjoyment can become qualified for bhakti because of the association of devotees. The more he'll take the association of devotees, the more he'll become qualified and advanced. So, and then there are three types of adhikar. Adhikars means, qualification, or what do you say, eligibility. So there are three types of persons qualified for Vedi sadhana bhakti. So when you say Uttam, Madhyama, and Kanishta. So see, Shraddha in the Shastras. So when you have Shraddha or faith in the Shastras, then that becomes the foundation for Vedi sadhana bhakti, right? Because in Vedi sadhana bhakti, uh, uh, the actions in Vedi sadhana bhakti are inspired by the teachings of the scriptures, because the root cause of a person's bhakti is faith. If somebody has faith, Shraddha in the scriptures, in the words of the Guru, then he is, convinced. And uh, he has some, what you say, uh, more inclination to advance in bhakti. So, to the degree I have faith in the scriptures, that will be the classification for the persons possessing that faith. कितना मेरे पास शास्त्र में faith है, तो then it will define whether I am उत्तम अधिकारी, मध्यम अधिकारी और कनिष्ठ अधिकारी. Because जितना जितना शास्त्रास पढ़ेंगे, हमारा faith बढ़ता जाएगा, knowledge भी बढ़ता जाएगा, और knowledge से faith भी बढ़ता जाएगा. Okay. So then the qualifications of an Uttam Adhikari are that he has a very strong conviction. He's very convinced. And his knowledge is also very strong. And he has, in fact, deep faith he has. And he can convince also the opposing opinions also. So he can defeat also somebody with his logic, right? That way. So this Uttam Adhikari is a very determined person. Basically, he's mature over a period of time, just as a fruit matures, from a flower to a fruit. Then again, the fruit also matures. So this person's determination also matures in bhakti. And he has firm faith in the Shastras. So he can present the Shastras very nicely, and certain conclusions also he can draw very nicely, right? But this Uttam Adhikari, he is not interested in dry speculative knowledge, because dry speculative knowledge is completely waste of time. Like, for example, I'll tell you what is dry speculative knowledge. For example, if a bird comes and sits on the tree, and all of a sudden that particular fruit falls down, right? So what is dry speculation? Some speculations will be there that, okay, because the bird came and sat on that particular tree, the fruit fell. or because the bird flew away from there, maybe the fruit fell, or maybe because the bird came and sat on the tree and the fruit fell, out of fear the bird flew away. These are so many speculations, and there can be 100 more speculations on this. So what is the use of such speculations, right? So you perfectly understand what is the ultimate goal of life, that is Krishna Bhakti, that my source of happiness is only one person, and that is Krishna. And Krishna is only the object of my worship and love. Baki, nobody is there for, me, that I should be worshipping or I should be actually serving that particular person. I should be serving only Krishna. And that is actually Krishna Bhakti. And this Uttamadhikari is such an obedient person to his spiritual master that he strictly follows all the regulative principles also under the direction of the spiritual master. So he is completely convinced. So if you see in a movement, there are so many spiritual masters who are really Uttamadhikaris, and yet to be sannyasis also are strong and convinced in their faith, right? And the Madhyamadhikari, this devotee is not very fully, conversant with scriptures, and not an expert also in opposing the opinions. He cannot defeat in a debate. If there is a debate, then he cannot defeat. So, but this Madhyamadhikari has a good amount of faith or a firm faith in the Shastras or in the scriptures and Krishna Bhakti. So he's completely convinced, means he has full faith. He has good faith in knowledge also, and he can defeat the opposing party also in debate. And then you have the Kanishta Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari has weak faith, has very little knowledge, and he can get easily swayed away. Swayed away means what? That his Shraddha is very weak, and anybody can shake his faith. Okay. Somebody who's posing some very strong arguments, then anybody can shake his faith. Somebody say, oh, Chinmay mission is very nice. Please come to Chinmay mission. Why you are in ISKCON? Please come to Brahma Kumari. Brahma Kumaris are more better than, ISKCON devotees. So he can get easily swayed away by the allurements also of other people. But these devotees, because of their weak faith, right? You can say they're not very steady within their heart. And these people can get swayed away. But sometimes what happens is some devotees who are not even completely unconvinced also, their weak faith may be temporary, temporary unsteadiness might be there of the heart, when defeated by some strong materialistic arguments. But again, in case they come in contact with the devotees and the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam, then they can regain their faith again also. So let's see one by one. Shraddha Shabde Vishwase Kahi Sudrit Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering loving devotional service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to discharge of devotional service. This is Madhya Leela. Faith means conviction that the goal of life is to please Krishna and abandon all other desires. गोल ऑफ लाइफ, मेरे जीवन का उद्देश्य यही है कि मुझे कृष्ण को प्रसन्न करना है, इसको प्रसन्न करना है, उसको प्रसन्न करना है। ऑल आर लाइफ और ऑल आर पास्ट लाइफ we doing this only, you know, pleasing our wives and pleasing our husbands and pleasing our children and pleasing our family members and pleasing our friends and pleasing our country, pleasing our customers. कितनी चापलूसी करनी पड़ती है कस्टमर्स को प्लीज करने के लिए. We try to please everybody in this world except Krishna. So the moment we engrave it into our consciousness that the goal of life is to only please Krishna, and whatever are my ulterior desires for name, fame, property, jewel, going to some places, acquiring some uh, position, all these desires need to be abandoned. And when we abandon these desires, then only one desire will be left, which is to please Krishna. Because he is the perfect person who is qualified to be pleased. No other person is as much qualified as Krishna, that if you please Krishna, then you get all perfection. If you please any other person, you're not going to get perfection, you're going to get frustration only. So abandon all other desires. So see, when I say desires, it doesn't mean that we become desireless. Only these desires, Srila Prabhupada says that you need to dovetail those desires. And Prabhupada very wonderfully says this actually. He says you don't have to stop desiring, because desiring is the inherent nature of a human being or a living entity. There will be many desires throughout the day, but what are those desires being dovetailed towards? Which person those desires are being dovetailed towards? So, for example, okay, let's assume a desire that, an example, maybe let me give you. Just give me a minute. Okay, a desire like, I want to become the Prime Minister of India. Okay. So the desire is, I want to become the Prime Minister of India, and I want my family members to get full benefit, and I also benefit, and I can, start collecting a lot of funds and become rich, make my family also rich. Okay. So this one desire is going to bind you into that particular work. But let's say another desire you have, that I want to become the Prime Minister of India, but I want that in every village there should be a Krishna temple. And all my family members also should become Krishna consciousness. Same desire, na? I want to become the Prime Minister of India. Ulterior motive is my family members should benefit. And I should also equally benefit. So how are you going to benefit? The desire is the same, but see the attitude of or the outcome of the particular karma that is there. So you desire, but you desire for Krishna. Maybe somebody has a desire of doing PhD. Okay, I will do PhD, but I will promote Krishna. Or my thesis will be on, Sharanagati or Shravanam Kirtanam or Smaranam. Right? So the goal will be to please Krishna. Even if you want to do PhD, okay, you can do PhD, you can have many degrees, but through those degrees, we bring people to Krishna, and we ourselves also are drawn towards Krishna. We're pleasing Krishna. That should be the goal. So, three types of devotees. While giving instructions, Sanatana Goswami Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into three categories based on faith. Shraddhavan Jana Hai Bhakti Adhikari, Uttama Madhyam Kanishta, Shraddha Anusari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, the highest platform devotion according to the development of his Shraddha. Shraddha कब develop होती है? In the association while chanting and hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord. Shraddha कब develop होती है? When you're in the association of devotees and you are hearing and chanting, तो आपकी श्रद्धा develop होती जाएगी. So, how important is the association of devotees? And in that association of devotees, what are the activities we are doing? We are hearing the glories of the Lord, we are chanting and hearing again the holy names of the Lord. So, Nam, Gun, Roop, and Leela. And that's how Shraddha will develop. So, three types of devotees are there: Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. Kanishta is Harinam initiated, trying to chant. Madhyam is Brahman initiated, fully engaged in seva. Uttam is very advanced in Krishna conscious, not interested in blaspheming others, and heart completely is clean. He does not blaspheme anybody. Okay, let's see the neophyte devotee, Kanishta Adhikari. So this Kanishta Adhikari, he is a Prakrita Bhakt or a materialistic devotee who does not purposefully study the Shastras, does not try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service, does not show proper respect to advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regular principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worship the deities. He is considered to be on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in devotional service. Such a person is a Bhakta Parayah, a neophyte devotee. So see, in our life also we have experienced all these things, right? Even once upon a time, even I was, or I am a devotee, no, neophyte devotee right now also you can say, right? So, does not purposefully study the Shastras. So see, why he does not purposefully study the Shastras? Because he does not have enough faith in Guru, Sadhu and Shastras. And he's not even trying to understand the standard of pure devotional service. So still there is a lot of attachment towards materialism, right? And he does not show proper respect to advanced devotees also, not offering obeisances or not while going to meet a pure devotee, he's not respectful enough to offer some flower, fruit, or a garland, or takes advanced devotees very casually, in the sense that he thinks, okay, this devotee is as equal as the other devotee only. So he is thinking that, okay, this advanced devotee is as good as me only. He has two hands, two legs, and even I have two hands, two legs. What is the difference between him and me? So he does not know that the Uttam Adhikari is more on an advanced stage than him. He has very strong faith. He has conviction also in the Shastras. But because he's innocent in his ignorance, you can say, or maybe some pride, or maybe some ego, envy, all these things are there. And that is why this particular person, the neophyte, he's not showing proper respect also to the advanced devotees. And he may, however, follow the regulative principle learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity. Right? So he is considered to be on the material platform, but slowly, he will keep on, rising up to the Madhyama level. Kanishta Adhikari characters mistakes his material expertise to be advancement in devotional service. Somebody thinks, oh, if I'm a PhD, if I'm a doctor, if I am a minister, or if I'm an actor, or if I am somebody very great, oh, it means actually I'm great in devotional service. But these two are very different, right? So if somebody has some material expertise, right, Maybe he might be very good in investing money, or he might be, Mr. Universe, Miss Universe, Miss World. Okay, but these material expertise are not equivalent to advancing in devotional service. What is the qualification for advancing in devotional service? Faith in the association of devotees, hearing and chanting. That is the qualification for advancement in service. But he's thinking that my material knowledge, my material position, my material wealth, my material name, fame is as good as, advancing in devotion. But that's not. And then you have Archana and Bhajan, conscious of only deity in the temple, thinks high of himself. He has pride also. Okay. He does not understand what is the difference between Archana and Bhajan also. Also, he is disturbed if a Madhyam devotee criticizes non-devotees of the Lord. So see, if a Madhyam Adhikari is criticizing the non-devotees, okay, or yet to become devotees. Like Prabhupada used to talk rascal and, mudhas and or hogs, dogs and asses and all. Some Madhyamadhikaris, some Madhyamadhikaris also in the ISKCON movement, when they actually say these words, okay. Prabhupada is an Uttamadhikari, Uttama. Even in these also there is a level that there is a Kanishta Adhikari, then there is a Kanishta Madhyama, Kanishta Uttama, then Madhyama Kanishta, Madhyama, Madhyama Uttama, and then Uttama Kanishta, Uttama Madhyama, Uttama Uttama. So Prabhupada is Uttama, like that. But this Kanishta Adhikari, if a Madhyama Adhikari is criticizing, the non-devotees, then he becomes very disturbed. Like in Prabhupada's time, many people used to get disturbed. Hey, why Prabhupada is talking about hogs and dogs and asses and mudhas and all these things. Then this Kanishta Adhikari, he offends demigods also. Because he thinks because now Krishna is the supreme, all other demigods under him are useless. They have no good in this. But we should understand that all these demigods are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, just as we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And they hold a higher position than us, of course, because human beings have 26 qualities, demigods have 50 qualities. Nah. So we should not offend the demigods, or they should not offend demigods, because every demigod is assisting the Supreme Lord in his mission. Then does not appreciate the paraphernalia of the Lord. Paraphernalia means garland hai, ya Krishna's jewelry is there, or his clothes are there, or the water glass, or the plate, or the spoon, or the, bowl, all these things he does not appreciate. Right. And why he does not appreciate? Because he does not have too much faith. Okay. Typically, the Kanishta Adhikari is eager to engage his materialistic qualification in the service of the Lord, mistaking such material expertise to be the sign of advanced devotion. But by continuing to serve the Supreme Lord and the devotees engaged in propagating the Lord's mission, the Kanishta Adhikari also advances in his realization and comes to the stage of dedicating his activities to helping more advanced Vaishnavas. Such Kanishta Adhikari can help ordinary living entities by their association, since at least the Kanishta Adhikari have faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, so see, I was just trying to understand this particular line. But by continuing to serve the Supreme Lord and the devotees engaged in propagating the Lord's mission, the Kanishta Adhikari also advances in his realization and comes to the stage of dedicating his activities, which means Nishkam Karma Yoga, to helping more advanced Vaishnavas. Means what? He is actually dedicating his activities and he is helping in the mission of the advanced Vaishnavas also. Sometimes when you read twice, you have better understanding. So by continuing to serve the Supreme Lord and devotees engage in propagating the Lord's mission, the Kanishta Adhikari also advances in realization and comes to the stage of dedicating his activities to helping more advanced Vaishnavas. So now, because the advanced Vaishnavas are missionary, he also tries to help those who are having that missionary mood. Like for example, in Prabhupada's time, if you see, all Prabhupada's disciples were Kanishta. And now, because they at that point of time got so much of association of Srila Prabhupada and his Vani, and they obeyed the orders of the spiritual master. So now they are in a position of Uttama Adhikari. They have so much faith. And see, it's a gradual process. It was not like that, okay, a person came and the first day he developed faith. Of course, he must have developed some percentage of faith for sure. But as and when they went on obeying the orders of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastri, Srila Prabhupada, and the scriptures and other, devotees, then their faith developed, and then they are now, you know, at that point of time, they were able to dedicate all their activities to helping Srila Prabhupada in his mission. Like if you see how the Chaitanya Charitamrita was written and published in 2 months, it's a big achievement. So what did they do? For those 2 months, completely they were dedicating their activities for helping the advanced devotees. Somebody was actually sketching or drawing the pages of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Somebody was translating, somebody was typing, somebody was editing, somebody was going to the publisher and again getting it edited, going to Srila Prabhupada, getting it edited, change, so many things back and forth, back and forth. And everybody was staying in one room only, in one house only for those 2 months. And it was, it was like, mission impossible tha, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that mission became possible. Because Prabhupada told His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj that impossible is the word in a fool's dictionary. And impossible itself also says that I am possible. So there is nothing impossible in this world. If somebody wants to decide, or somebody has decided that I want to do this for Krishna, if you see Krishna behind those activities or behind that action or karma is only seeing the intent and not the content. For example, when the squirrel wanted to help to build that bridge across Sri Lanka, right, or Lanka towards, Ravana's palace, right, going towards that palace. So what was her contribution? That wherever big bolster like, rocks were being put, she said that there were some gaps also in those rocks. So let me put some pebbles, you know. So she used to pick up one pebble and put it over there, one pebble and put it over there. And Lord Ram acknowledged also. Lord Ram very much acknowledged her service according to her capacity, that she is trying to serve me. So at that point of time, even that squirrel left everything. Other squirrels are so very, chanchal or, flickering, that they cannot be in one place. But that point of time, that little squirrel also dedicated all her activities for helping Lord Ram, cross the bridge. So, slowly, when we also, start, we can also actually start helping, when we're doing book distribution, when we are being a part of the temple, giving some menial services like washing pots or sweeping the floor or getting new people connected or making flower garlands, making festival dresses, or decorating the temple during festivals, or serving prasadam on a daily basis, maybe, or occasionally also. All these activities are helping the advanced Vaishnava to push this movement forward. Kanishta is angry or disturbed if a non-devotee is criticized. Now, what happens is that Kanishta is still identifying himself with his body. So he's not on the soul platform, he's still on the bodily platform. So he gets angry. Such a Kanishta Adhikari therefore is disturbed if a second-class devotee criticizes the non-devotees of the Lord. In the name of compassion or kindness, a Kanishta Adhikari approves of the non-devotional activities of such materialistic men. Because the Kanishta Adhikari is ignorant of the higher realms of devotional service and the unlimited transcendental bliss of Krishna consciousness, he sees devotional service merely as the religious aspect of life, but thinks that life has many enjoyable and worthwhile non-devotional aspects. So he's sailing in two boats, right? In the material boat, also in the spiritual boat. If such materialistic devotees follow the rules and regulations of deity worship, they will gradually be elevated to a higher standard and eventually become pure devotees of the Lord, unless they commit offenses against other devotees, in which case their advancement will be checked. Checked यानी spoil हो जाए, मतलब रुक जाएगा, right? They will glide more down. जितना वैष्णव अपराध हम करते हैं criticizing the devotees, we go into a minus state, okay, from the zero state to the minus state. So see, now this Kanishta Adhikari is called a materialistic devotee also, because he's sailing in two boats. But if he's following the rules and regulations of deity worship में क्या होता है ना, आपकी आसक्ति जो है, attachment जो है, it's more and more towards the Lord. So the more you get attracted, the more you get attached, then automatically, all the other unwanted anarthas, they just fall off. And then that particular person becomes attached and he can rise to the platform of Uttama Adhikari. So be conscious that God is everywhere and not only in the temple. Srila Madhvacharya comments that one in the lower stage of devotional service faithfully worship the deity in the temple, but is not aware that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually all pervading. The same mentality can be seen in Western countries where people commit all types of sinful activities in their homes and in the street, but then piously go to a church and pray to God for mercy. Actually, God is in our home, God is in the street, God is in our office, God is in the forest, God is everywhere. And therefore, God should be worshipped everywhere by the process of devotional service at His lotus feet. So we can worship God everywhere. Somebody might wonder, God is in our office also. So see that all these, 5 elements, and anything is made with these 5 elements, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether. So when, Prabhupada says that God is in our office, means what? That you consider the office as good as temple, and you worship your work, do it diligently, and offer the fruits of that work to Kṛṣṇa. And that's how, that whole office can also be turned into a temple. God is in the forest. How, somebody might say that God is in the forest? Because God is omnipotent, omniscient, and He's everywhere. So, God in the forest means what? This whole forest has been created by the Lord. And this whole forest is being created for His enjoyment. So whatever fruits, herbs, trees, shrubs, everything is there, we offer it to the Supreme Lord. That's how God is in the forest also. So Kanishta devotee is offending demigods also. A devotee of the Lord should not misinterpret Gita's injunction against demigod worship as a license to offend the demigods who are bona fide Vaishnavas. Right? When we say Lord Shiva is Vaishnavam Yatha Shambho, among the Vaishnavas, he's the best and the topmost, right? So we don't offend We don't offend Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Ganpati, Mother Durga, none of these. Srila Madhavacharya says that Bhaktanam Upek Shakha Shakaha Kayurur Vaishnavapi Dvesha. Those who neglect or show indifference to the devotees of the Lord are to be considered offenders at the lotus feet of Vishnu. Similarly, those who disrespect the demigods will become bereft of devotional service and be forced to rotate again and again within the samsara, the cycle of birth and death. Pujya Devas Tatha Sada. The demigods are always to be offered respect since they are devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If someone is envious of the demigods, he is to be considered envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, because of envy, we have come to this material world. Right? So we should not be envying any human being also, or any living entity also, or any demigod also. Why? Because when you are envying such people or any living entity, you're indirectly envying the Supreme Lord. And that is why we don't envy. By the will of the providence, or by the karmas past karmas that he has done, he is enjoying the fruits. And if I'm envying, oh, why does he have such a big bungalow? Why don't I have? Why, this Ambani and Adani, they have so many big factories and big cars and so much of security they have. Why don't I have? So here you compare, and then when you compare, you become envious of either somebody who's very beautiful, somebody with a lot of wealth, somebody with a lot of fame, why she is famous, why her name is always being taken, why the guru is only calling out her name or his name, why the guru is, not giving me demand, why the guru does not call me, why these advanced devotees, the temple president is all the time, praising this particular devotees only. Why not me? All this is envy. Okay. So someone is envious of demigods, then he is to be considered envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to Bhaktivedanta Thakur, the inability of the Kanishta Adhikari to appreciate the Lord's devotees, entourage, and paraphernalia indicates that such a materialistic Vaishnava is still affected by the speculative understanding of the Karmavadis and Mayavadis, those who are dedicated to sense gratification and impersonal speculation about the absolute. मतलब अभी भी जो है, if he is not able to appreciate the Lord's devotees or the paraphernalia that is there, then two things are there. Either this Vaishnava is affected by speculative understanding of the Karmavadis and Mayavadis, right? Those who are dead. So Karmavadis are dedicated to what? They're dedicated to sense gratification. And the Mayavadis are dedicated to what? The impersonal speculation about the absolute. Oh, maybe or the absolute truth is a light, or the absolute truth is a wind, or the absolute truth is fire. And all these are impersonal speculations. They cannot digest only that the Supreme Lord can have a form just like a normal human being with two hands, two legs, eyes, and all. They cannot actually digest only these things. Now, the reason is that, see, for example, God has given a shape to everything over here, right? In this material world. Shape to a tree, shape to a glass, shape to a box, shape to a temple, shape to a vessel, shape to a house. In that house also there are so many shapes as such. Shape to fruits, flowers, vegetables, every single thing has shape or a form, right? You can't say that, अरे पालक लेके आना, and somebody brings air and says, okay, ये पालक खा लेना बना के. But that physical palak has to be there. But what the Mayavadis think, that no, ये जो palak है, ये does not exist, which means what I cannot see with my imperfect senses. और imperfect ears के साथ मैं सुन नहीं सकती हूँ. So that is why, because I have not seen, so he does not exist only. So that is why they reject the form of the Lord. And they say that the absolute truth is some fire, some air, some, water form. So it does not have a form. This is what the impersonal speculation is. Srila Prabhupada often said that the impersonalist desires to see Krishna alone. We desire to see Krishna with cows, friends, parents, his gopis, flute, jewelry, forest scenery, and so on. Krishna is gorgeous in the setting of Vrindavan. Uh, it is in the land of Vrindavan that Lord Krishna, surrounded by many beautiful associates, manifests his exalted, indescribable beauty. Similarly, the unique mercy of the Supreme Person of Godhead is exhibited in the activities of his pure devotees who selflessly travel around the universe distributing the dust particles from Krishna's lotus feet on the heads of the conditioned soul. So, what are they doing is that these pure devotees are selflessly traveling around the world. So, for what reason are they traveling around the universe? They are distributing the dust particles from the Krishna's lotus feet on the head of the conditioned soul. So, see, when these pure devotees are moving around, no, when they're traveling, and at a particular place, for example, they are, singing kirtans or giving some class on Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam, right? When they are giving a discourse. So when they are singing also bhajan, they are meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. When they are giving a class on Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam, they are meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, what do these pure devotees do is that when they are, you know, uh, giving words of wisdom or the Hari Katha or the Hari Nam, when they are giving from the lotus mouth, what is happening is they are picking up the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna, and through their words they are smearing into the consciousness of the audience that same dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. So, like that, we are not qualified to, get the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna directly. But when these pure devotees are meditating, then that dust of the lotus feet of Krishna is smeared through the words of the pure devotees onto the audience. Okay. So this is what is being said. One who is uninterested in the Lord's paraphernalia, entourage, and devotees has a stunted conception of the Supreme Person of Godhead. This must be due to contamination from the impersonal and sensuous understandings of life. So this is why, because of too much of attachment to sensual, understanding of life, that life is meant only for enjoyment, right? Or some mental speculation. Okay. What is the difference between Archana and Bhajan? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur has given a nice explanation of the difference between Archana and Bhajan. Archana refers to the platform of sadhana bhakti in which one serves the Lord to carry out the rules and regulations of the process. One who has achieved the shelter of the Lord's holy name and is totally engaged in the attempt to serve the Lord should be considered to be on the platform of bhajan, even though his external activities may sometimes be less strict than those of the neophyte engaged in archana. So archana is actually you can say archana is the uh, archana is the, what is the intermediate level, advanced level, and initial level of performing bhakti. And bhajan is the advanced stage, right? So you can say archana में से क्या होता है कि whatever sadhana bhakti one is doing, he is carrying out his, rules and regulation, 4 regulative principles, and, reading, chanting 16 rounds, reading Bhagavad Gita, doing deity worship, going out and preaching. All this is like, into archana. And then one who has achieved the shelter of the Lord's holy name. See, achieving the shelter of the Lord's holy name, matlab kya? That by the mercy of the spiritual master gives the holy name. Na? And then he is totally engaged in the attempt to serve the Lord, should be considered to be on the platform of bhajan. So when he receives the holy name from the spiritual master and is engaged in the attempt to serve the Lord, he is considered to be in the platform of bhajan. So even some external activities may be some less strict than those of never engaged in archana, that way. So now let's come to the Madhyamadhikari. Madhyamadhikari offers his love to the Lord. And if you love Krishna in any capacity, you shall never be frustrated, because everything in Krishna is perfect, eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Madhyamadhikari is a sincere friend to all the devotees of the Lord. Madhyamadhikari shows mercy to the ignorant people who are innocent and non-blasphemous. Madhyamadhikari disregards those who are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Because somebody who is envious, then he goes and debates, and then he defeats that particular person. Keep distance from envious, but meditate upon always to save them. So, of course, we have to be careful that those who are envious about the Supreme Lord, we keep a distance. Those who are envious of the devotees of the Lord, we keep a distance. But somehow or the other, we remove some novel ways to save also these people. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, if a Vaishnava preacher encounters one who is envious of them, then the preacher should remain far away from such an envious person. But the Vaishnava preacher may meditate upon ways to save the envious class of men. Such meditation is called sadachar or saintly behavior. Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī has mentioned Prahlad Maharaj as an example of a saintly person. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the following statement by Prahlad. Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitanasya. So, what is actually this particular Madhyamadhikari trying to do is that he's trying to save. So, Prahlad Maharaj tried to save his father also, right? And though he was so much envious of the Supreme Lord, but he still tried to save. Okay. Although Vaishnava preacher constantly meditates on the welfare of all living entities, he will not associate with those who are unreceptive of the message of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. In this regard, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states that even Bharat Maharaj, Vyasdev and Shukdev Goswami do not exhibit their mercy indiscriminately. And then you come to Uttamadhikari. So Uttamadhikari is his eligibility is one who is expert in logic and understanding the revealed scriptures, and who is always has firm conviction and deep faith that is not blind, and is to be considered topmost devotee in devotional service. This is from C.C. Madhya Leela. So one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So that devotee who is seeing Krishna everywhere and in every atom and molecule, he's saying, and he sees everything in me, means in Krishna, he's seeing everything. Like Mother Yashoda saw the whole universe in the lotus mouth of Krishna, right? Arjuna saw the Virat Rūpa, right? He's seeing everything in Krishna. Then for those people, I am never lost, because 24/7, either they are seeing me everywhere or in me they are seeing everything. So when you go to take darshan of the Lord and you see everything in Krishna, you see the whole of India in Krishna, you see the whole of cosmic manifestation in Krishna. No, all the upper planetary systems and the lower planetary systems and the middle planetary systems, you see everything in Krishna. So now Krishna is never lost only to these poor people, right? Because गुम कौन हो जाता है? जो हमारी आंखों से ओझल हो जाता है, आंखों से दूर हो जाता है, right? One who is away from our sight, that person is, oh, he's lost. You cannot see him only, right? For example, some mother's child is lost. So what happens is, for the mother, that child is all in all. You know, she's so attached to the child that she's seeing the whole world in that child only. You can say that the whole world only is her child. So now if the child does not come back from the school on time, or the school van is a little late, or the school bus is a little late, so then she thinks, oh, my child is lost. Because she cannot see the child, Pratyaksha Pramana, so she thinks, now my child is lost. Similarly, for we devotees, because we see Krishna in every uh, living entity and in every gross objects, right? Gross object यानी जड़ पदार्थों में भी हम देखते हैं उनको. So that is why Krishna is never lost to us. और nor is he ever lost to Krishna also. ऐसे नहीं हो जाता है कि ओ कृष्ण से ओ ही इज लॉस्ट नाउ, राइट? Such devotees, other living entities are completely lost only for Krishna, because they never come to take darshan of the Lord, they never remember the Lord, they never serve the Lord, right? Because when you're serving, you all the time 24/7 in front of Krishna only you're serving, right? So such devotees are never lost to Krishna, right? So we have seen in detail the 6.30. If you all want, you can refer to that particular class that I have given in the Bhakti Shastri. Okay. So the most expansive vision, the most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, oh, I'm so sorry. Consequently, he sees systematically everything in the relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord. A devotee of high level of spiritual qualification is glorified for the expansiveness of his spiritual vision. For example, when the stalwart demon Hiranyakashipu questioned his self-realized son Prahlad Maharaj as to the whereabouts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prahlad, being a Mahabhagavat or pure devotee, answered straightforwardly that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is everywhere. The demonic father then asked if God was in the pillar of that palace. When Prahlad Maharaj answered yes, Hiranyakashipu, being a bona fide demon, Prabhupada is mentioning bona fide demon. When a bona fide demon struck the pillar with his sword, trying to kill God or at least disapprove his existence, then Lord Nrsimhadev, the most ferocious form of the Supreme Lord, immediately appeared and finished forever the illicit program of Hiranyakashipu. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj can be accepted as an Uttamadhikari devotee. Śrīla Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. So, most expansive vision means what? The qualification for seeing Krishna everywhere. So, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the love, the slave of love. So, when you say Premanjana, Prem ka Anjan, Anjan means what? Kajal, right? So, when their eyes are ointed with love for the Supreme Lord. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochane. So they are actually, the eyes are anointed with love for Krishna. And who are such people? Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Now, these only people whose eyes are anointed with love for Krishna, they themselves are seeing the Supreme Lord in their own heart. Okay, and they are seeing Krishna in the core of their heart with eyes that are tinged with devotion, eyes that are filled with the kajal of love. तो इन्हीं आंखों से वो अपने स्वयं के हृदय में भगवान के साक्षात दर्शन कर रहे हैं. जिसके पास प्रेम का अंजन है, वो व्यक्ति भगवान को अपने हृदय में स्थित जो है वो देख सकते हैं. See, till now when we say Paramatma is sitting in my heart, but भगवान के दर्शन हो गए उसको, right? The Supreme Lord, we mentioned the word Bhagwan. He can see Bhagwan situated in his own heart. Because with such devotees, what exactly happens is that when they become pure devotees, then the role of the Paramatma gets over there, and the role of the Bhagavan comes into picture. And that is why now who is controlling their life? The Supreme Lord is in total control of their lives. Krishna is actually dictating them from within, now do this and now do that. For us, who is dictating? Actually, our mind, which is not or never in control, that mind is dictating us. But with pure devotees, Krishna is personally dictating. See, that is why Prabhupada also said, no, that I have not written this Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Krishna was sitting in front of me and he was dictating me. What does that mean is that now personally Krishna is dictating that pure devotee who has given his whole heart to Krishna, all his activities to Krishna, and everything what he possesses to Krishna. It can be a grahastha also, it can be a vanaprastha also, it can be a brahmachari ashram also, and it can be sannyas ashram. में से किसी के साथ ही हो सकता है. So external qualification is not required, internal qualification is required. Okay, let's go to the next. Uttam Adhikari is prepared to offer respects even to a demon. If it is the Lord's desire, a pure devotee can offer respects to all living entities. For example, Jiva Gosvāmī mentioned that Uddhav and other pure devotees of the Lord were always prepared to offer obeisances even to such persons as Duryodhan. Madhyam Adhikaris, however, should not imitate such Uttam Adhikari behavior. See, or even in that matter, even Yudhishthir used to never call Duryodhan Duryodhan. He used to call Duryodhan Suryodhan. Dur याने bad and Surya याने अच्छा. So he used to call Suryodhana. He used never called Duryodhan Duryodhana. Right? That way. Srila Vishwanath Chakri Thakur. Oh, I'm so sorry. I beg forgiveness. Srila Vishwanath Chakri Thakur. Atra sarva bhuteshu bhagavad darshana yogatah yasya kaschit apina drishta. A Madhyamadhikari cannot at any time perceive the presence of the Supreme Lord within the living entities. Whereas the Uttamadhikari, however he acts on the second class platform to carry out the Lord's mission, is aware that every living entity is ultimately a forgetful Krishna conscious living entity. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he says that it is the duty of the Madhyamadhikari to extend himself as the right hand of the Uttamadhikari, vowing to work for the benefit of others and offering to help in distributing love of Krishna. So now, what is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur saying? That मध्यमाधिकारी का ड्यूटी क्या है कि वो उत्तम अधिकारी की हेल्प करे इन प्रीचिंग वर्क. and to benefit everybody, taking association of the Uttamadhikari and helping, Uttamadhikari to connect more and more people towards Krishna consciousness. That way. So see, in Prabhupada's time also, so many of his devotees were helping Prabhupada. Somebody was doing editing of some books, somebody was printing, somebody was publishing, somebody was organizing some concerts, right? So they were helping. And that's how slowly they also become Uttam Adhikari. Okay. Pious but without faith in the objects. The goal of life is to please Krishna and abandon all other desires. ये ना कहीं पे लिख लेना चाहिए हम लोगों को. The goal of life is to please Krishna and abandon all other desires. Any desire which does not lead me to Krishna, I am abandoning all those desires. So chaturvidha bhajante mam janana sukrito arjuna artho jigyasur arthani arthati jnani cha bharatvarshah. So now 4 types of people, or you can say 4 types of pious people, 4 types of sukritinas जो है, they are taking up to bhakti, है ना? Or uh, they are searching for knowledge of the absolute. Okay. So who is in Artho? Artho is one who is in distress. Okay. Let's just. So this Artho person, he is actually distressed. And who was distressed? Gajendra was distressed completely. Gajendra hai. Gajendra, when he was distressed, and he prayed to the Lord for protection. And then he, being greedy to attain his sweetness, he gave up his desire to get relief from that suffering and became a pure devotee. Because the moment he had a darshan of the Lord, what exactly happened is immediately his heart purified, right? And Dhruv Maharaj is Arthati. Arthati means he wanted a kingdom bigger than his grandfather, Lord Brahma also. But when he took up to the path of bhakti and then he got the darshan of the Lord, then he was also purified and he did not want any material benediction. He only asked what? He said that please give me the association of your devotees, because all this while in this jungle, I never had the association of devotees. If you ever want to give me any benediction, then please give me the benediction of the association of your devotees. And then there is Jigyasur. Jigyasur means one who is very inquisitive. So in inquisitive, then the sages of Naimisharanya, they also come in, because they were asking Suta Goswāmī about Shri Krishna. And then they gave up their desire also to go to Swargaloka or know about Swargaloka. And by the association of Shukdev Goswami, they also actually became very pure devotees. And then we have the Gyanis also. So in Gyanis, we have the 4 Kumara. If you remember in the 3rd canto, where Jai Vijay are there and these 4 Kumaras, they want to enter into Vaikuntha, and Jai Vijay, they stop them. So they were all into this Gyani category. So, but what exactly happened? The moment they smelled the garland, the Tulsi garland from Lord Vishnu, immediately the Tulsi smell entered into their nostrils, and that's how they became purified. And by the mercy of the Lord, they gave up their desire for liberation and they got attracted to the bhakti path and became pure devotees. So, see, Artho is distressed. Okay, yeah, they're giving wealth wanters and all again, whatever I've explained. Okay, for Kumara's example. So, out of this, Srila Prabhupada or Srila Rupa Goswami says, or Krishna says, okay, not even Prabhupada, but Krishna says that Jnani is the best of the 4 Sukritinas. So, see, who is an artha. Artha is he desires, relief from his grief. Okay. Short-term solutions he is looking in for. And the arthati is actually his desire is to attain long-term happiness. Ki I'll get a kingdom even bigger than Brahma, right? So long term. And these two are in the material concept of life. Both are in distress, and both want money also. So see, if somebody is in distress and somebody wants money, it is actually relating to material sense gratification. Means what? That आपको अपना जो है सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करना है, बट फॉर बॉडीली प्लेजर्स. सो अभी भी ही इज ऑन द bodily platform or material bodily platform of life. Now this jigyasu that is there, he is inquiring after the truth with the desire for some deeper solace from grief, and some more deeper type of happiness he's looking in for. And but this jigyasu is better than at least the artha and artharthi, because this guy at least is having some more deeper, he wants to enter more into a deep contemplation, right? Deeper type of happiness. So, but this jigyasu is still on the material platform. Now, Jnani is the best. Why? Because this Jnani has knowledge of Krishna's power, and he has knowledge of Krishna's greatness also. He has knowledge of Krishna's sweetness also. And he's not an impersonalist. And he is best of all these four. So, one who understands the identity of a soul is permanent or eternal, and that soul is connected to Krishna, then that is why this is the best among the four, right? So he is very dear to Krishna and loves and always thinks about Krishna, and he does not want any material benefit, basically. Why? Because he has studied the scriptures very nicely. ज्ञानी है ना, तो पढ़ाई तो करेगा. तो जब उसको पढ़ाई जब करता है, तो वो समझता है कि मुझे मटेरियल बेनिफिट्स नहीं चाहिए, मुझे निष्काम कर्म योग करना है. और he is very intelligent in studying the scripture. That's called a ज्ञानी. Okay. तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्ता एक भक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रिय हि ज्ञानिनो अर्थान अत्यार्थम aham sa cha mama priya. Although Krishna said that the Jnani is dear to him, he loves all four types of Sukrindatas, devotees. After all, they approach Krishna, though they have material desires. See, फिर भी जो है भगवान सभी चारों को प्रेम करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि उनके पास कुछ ना कुछ डिजायर है टू अप्रोच कृष्णा in any way, okay, because Krishna says that whatever you want, you come to me only. You want anything, you come to me, don't go anywhere else. So that is why if you have desires, long term, short term, or if you have any, what do you say, inquiries, okay, which lead you to a deeper happiness, all are accepted by Krishna. So then all of them are magnanimous in giving me love, but Jnani, who knowledge on me, is exceedingly dear to me. Lord Krishna said that the Jnani Bhakta is fixed in him as a supreme goal, and thus he attains him. But how long does a Jnani take to become a qualified as a pure devotee? कितना time लगता है उसको? Shipram bhavati na. As soon as you are there, immediately. But let's see Without being elevated to the position of a Jnani or wise man, one cannot stick to the principle of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It can be concluded that a person who is free from bodily concept of life is an eligible candidate for pure devotional service. See, when we say pure devotional service, yani uttama level, शुद्ध भक्त के लेवल. बट जो बॉडीली कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लाइफ में है, तो ही इज not at all a fit candidate for pure devotional service, because all the time he is catering to his sense objects and his senses and his mind, and they all the time are pulling him outwards. These senses and sense objects are not pulling him inwards. They're always pulling him outwards towards sense gratification. Four pious men have some motives in their surrender to Krishna. They are not yet on the platform of pure devotion service. They can become pure devotees by associating with those who are pure. A Jnani is considered the best of the four, as he has some realization that he is not the body and is thus more attached from selfish motives. Okay. So, what is the eligibility of a person who is practicing devotional service? Anyone who has the desire or aspiration of satisfying his senses by becoming more and more important, either in the material sense or in the spiritual sense, cannot actually relish the really sweet taste of devotional service. है ना? जो जिसका केंद्र सेल्फ है, one whose what is it? केंद्र को क्या कहते हैं? One whose focus is on his self, right? So then this person cannot relish the sweet taste of devotional service, right? And then, so then after this, then what is the rarity? Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī is therefore compared possessing these material and liberated things, like bhakti and mukti desires, with being influenced by the black art of witch. देखो यहाँ पे एक witch का फोटो दिया है ना? In both cases, one is in trouble. Why? Because both are in material concept of life, on the material platform only are there. Bhakti, mukti, na? Both are on material. So, somebody might ask that, because see, when the witches of desire, यानी भक्ति जो होता है ना, एंजॉयमेंट करने का विच है ना, डिजायर है, एंड लिबरेशन का भी डिजायर है, राइट, आर प्रेजेंट इन द हार्ट, then how can happiness of bhakti arise over there? And that is why bhakti and mukti are considered to be witches, because bhakti or material enjoyment is a witch because it is covering the desire for bhakti. Bhakti is covering the desire for bhakti. With what it is covering? With material desires it is covering. तो भौतिक चीजों से जो है, वो भौतिक इच्छाओं से जो है, ये भक्ति जो है वो हमारी भक्ति को कवर कर रही है. भक्ति हमारे सब में है. वी ऑल हैव भक्ति, इनहेरेंट भक्ति, लव फॉर कृष्णा वी हैव. बट राइट नाउ व्हाट इज दिस भक्ति डूइंग? इट इज कवरिंग द डिजायर फॉर भक्ति विथ विच डिजायर्स? विथ मटीरियल डिजायर्स. अगर आप समझो कि ये हमारी भक्ति है ना, और हमारे पास जो है बहुत डिजायर भी है भक्ति करने के लिए, लेकिन अभी वो आवरण है, कवरिंग है विथ मटीरियल डिजायर्स, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कंपेयर्ड टू अ विच, है ना. विच क्या करती है ना, आपके असली अस्तित्व को कवर कर देती है. सो एंड मुक्ति, और यू कैन से लिबरेशन, इट इज एक्चुअली, मुक्ति मतलब क्या? मटेरियल एंजाइटी से आप मुक्त हो जाते हो, राइट. सो then what does mukti do? She is telling us to become one with God, right, है ना. And why one with God? Because when that Becoming one with God means only what? That you want to be self-centered. You don't want Krishna to be in the center. You want yourself to be in the center. And that is actually mukti, liberation, being freed from that material anxiety and to become one with the Lord is like a witch as it is self-centered. But bhakti का कैसा रहता है? Bhakti is, or you can say a devotee, what he does is, he desires for enjoyment and liberation, right, are not proper for this sadhaka. And they are not present on this. Bhukti and mukti are not present only. See, bhukti and mukti, devotee does not possess bhukti in the sense that he does not have any material desire, firstly. Secondly, this devotee is those who are bhaktas, they don't even desire for mukti because they don't want to become one with the Lord. They want to go at the lotus feet of the Lord and they want to serve the Lord. They don't want all these sarupya, salokya, shrishti, all these 5 types of muktis. They don't want at all. So that is why even though the devotees, they become liberated. See, when somebody is a devotee, this bhukti and mukti, they are standing at the door only. But the devotee does not even look at them. The devotee can get the highest form of material happiness or, becoming one with the Lord. But they are not for it. They don't want it as such. So, even though the devotees, they become liberated from this material world by the power of bhakti, but liberation is not at all their goal. And as long as these material desires of enjoyment are there, then one cannot enter only into the realm of bhakti. Bhakti के साथ जो है, ये हो जाता है कि जब तक आपके पास मटेरियल डिजायर्स है या मटेरियल एंजॉयमेंट है, तो आप भक्ति के जो बाउंड्री है उसके अंदर एंटर ही नहीं कर सकते हो. So devotees do not desire liberation at all. Their minds and senses, they are so much captivated by this process of bhakti. Process of bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, right? And they are so much in love with Krishna that these things are completely very gaun. They are very tuchha. They are very, they are very, menial. They don't desire it. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam ma vishame bhavam budho. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that, na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagdish kamaye mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatat bhakti ahetuki tvai. So they want unalloyed devotional service. So some of the liberated persons who have achieved these 4 stages of liberation may also develop affection for Krishna and be promoted to Golok Vrindavan planet in the spiritual sky. Out of many such kind of devotees, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who is attached to the original form of the Lord, Krishna in Vrindavan, is considered first class. And such a devotee is not even attracted to the opulences of Vaikuntha or even Dwarka, where Krishna ruled. They just want very simple life in Golok Vrindavan, right? So here we complete actually this, but the 3rd chapter is still not over. We still have a lot to actually cover up in the 4th chapter. So we'll just move ahead as such. So anybody has any queries, doubts? I'm very upset, people are not joining in. So many people are there on WhatsApp group, but nobody is joining in as such. Anybody has any queries, doubts, questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, this neophyte devotees will have the weak faith in Krishna, or they can they have to slowly develop faith. Like,
Yeah. So neophyte devotee का faith weak होता है, and जैसे जैसे they will associate with the pure devotees by hearing and chanting in their association, then that faith becomes very strong. Like for example, okay, you take a magnet and you have iron filings. So what exactly happens is that when there's a magnet, in the presence of the magnet, what happens? Iron filings immediately they stick to the magnet. So similar, and one day what happens? Slowly, a period of time, what happens? These iron filings also get the potency of being a magnet, right? They get some after some time that iron also becomes a magnet. Similarly, when we are associating with pure devotees by hearing and chanting in their association, one day we can also become pure devotees in their association. Of course, a pure devotee does not tell himself that I am a pure devotee. He is very humble enough. But the others can see that he is a pure devotee. Krishna can see that he is a pure devotee of mine. So the barometer for a pure devotee, only a pure devotee can decide, or Krishna can decide that he is a pure devotee. Or the others can, through his activities or his actions, can see that he is a pure devotee. But slowly, the key to advance in bhakti is associating with pure devotees, hearing and chanting in their association. इसलिए हम लोग क्यों बोलते हैं ना devotee association? See, when we go to our temple also now, in our temple also, we do not know who is a pure devotee. Sometimes we think, no, oh, sannyasis or senior brahmacharis are only pure devotees. But we never know that a pure devotee can be in a garb of a simple devotee also. क्योंकि यहाँ पे लिखा नहीं है कि who is a pure devotee, right? It's not written on the forehead. So that is why when we try to associate with devotees, wherever we are going, whichever center we go to or temple we go to, we should think our vision should be such that all these are pure devotees only. Eventually, it is only a matter of time is separating them from becoming a pure devotee. Everybody is a pure devotee. Originally, everybody is a pure devotee. Right now, it's covered by some material desires or something, but eventually they will purify and they will become pure devotees. So now with that attitude, when we go to the temple, then eventually we will actually see that how our reading, hearing, chanting, they will speed up very nicely. Or reading, chanting, hearing will have meaning also. Because all the time what we feel, oh, I am senior, I am junior, I am this, I am that. We actually carry so much of baggage when we go to the temple. But मुझे ऐसे लग रहा है कि means, okay, over a period of years, I have realized this thing कि when I go to the temple, I should keep all my upadhis just at the door only. And I should enter the temple. Or whenever I am talking to any devotee, I should just keep all the upadhis at one side and I just purely should talk to that particular devotee. And genuinely, there'll be a heart-to-heart connection established with that devotee without thinking ourselves to be high or low. Right, Prabhuji?
thank you.
Anybody else has any other query, question, doubt?
Hare Krishna Mataji, what is this Upadhi?
Upadhi means designation. Designation means
Okay.
I'm the Prime Minister of India, I'm a PhD, I'm a South Indian Brahmin, I'm a North Indian Punjabi, all these upadhis. I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a brother, all these upadhis, these are designations. You all you keep it aside, you just say that soul to soul connection, that's it.
And as you said, going to the temple, and suppose we are away from our city and going to north or somewhere far away, just going and sitting in the satsang is enough, or because we don't know anybody, that association is sufficient?
Oh, yes. That association is of like-minded people, where everybody wants to serve the Lord and everybody wants to please the Lord. Like कहते हैं ना संग में शक्ति होती है. Like in the association there is strength. So in that association we also do not know na, that somebody is a devotee of past birth and he must have just started. And by the earthly calculation आपको लगता होगा oh he's 2 months old and I'm 12 years old in Krishna conscious. But we don't know na that he's the devotee of past birth, right? That way.
Thank you.
We'll stop over. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Srila Rupa Gosvāmī ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.